form.
To do all the measurements.
No te hablé anoche, but I was thinking about it. Yo te hablo vídeos, pero yo te hablé como a las 5 o las 6, para yo te estaba pensando eso de that's when we're going to be able to do something legal that we hired somebody that knows.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know, otherwise I would have.
Okay. I think it's important, but I don't have problemas. Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to this Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, July 24th, 2012. Present are Commissioners Flores, Palacios, Quintanilla, and myself. We have a quorum. We have one presenter, an open forum. Ms. Fern McClarty.
Good morning. Last week, y'all were talking about 2 cents, and when someone tells the taxpayers only $20 is a little misleading. On a $100,000 house, combined taxes would be $2,736.20. That's all the different entities, and that is not with the $20 that you were talking about. The 2 cents would be more than what we're paying now. We're paying $72.50. It would be $92.50. And then I heard about if you went the full amount. So like I say, when you say $20, it's added to what we're already paying on each one of these entities. And I know personally, I'm looking at the taxes for Edinburgh, that our Edinburgh schools will be going up this next year because they use the emergency money this year. So that's more taxes. So on a $100,000 home, and I never knew whether you were talking about the house or the land and the house, but just on the value of $100,000. And then on a $40,000, the taxes, as they are right now, nothing has changed, would be $1,094.48. Have you thought about what a house for a $40,000 home is? These people, like I say, I don't know if we're talking about the home or the land value also in it. So these people are hurting, and it hurts each time. So those 2 pennies that y'all talk about, $20, is on top of what we're already paying. Thank you.
Now, of course, everybody knows that.
That's what was stated last week, that the $20 were an additional tax. And it's, let me clarify something. We did not vote and are not voting to increase our tax. We voted on a referendum to allow the community to address the issue, to determine whether or not they agree with us that there is a need and whether or not they believe it's important that we address that need and that we assess that additional 2 cents. But this Commissioner's Court, this Drainage District Board, did not in and of itself vote to increase any tax rate. All right, our consent agenda, any concerns?
No concerns, Judge.
Item 4.
Item 4,
Do we want to vote on consent?
Oh, I'm sorry. Need a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 4, request approval of claim related to geotechnical engineering services for foundation study and foundation material testing borings on the main floodwater channel Weir 2, which is the weir that collapsed, and on the Rainville Drain US 281 crossing, which is the crossing that we're doing with TxDOT. We have 2 bills of work that were done by L&G. Everything is in order, except we needed to process them as a claim for this board consideration.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge, Commissioners. I have no other item unless the board wishes to entertain anything in executive session.
Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. It is 9:25. Our regular meeting for Commissioners Court is set to begin in 5 minutes, so we're going to have to wait as was posted. So we'll be in recess for about 5 minutes. Thank you. Meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, July the 24th, 2012. We have present Commissioner Flores, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 2, Commissioner Quintanilla, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing and bow your heads, please. Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us are here because we want what is best for Hidalgo County. We ask for your blessing and your guidance. In your name we pray, O Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
All right, under item 4, any concerns, Mr. Eufrasio?
Yes, Judge, we have I would like to request consent agenda item 13J be for discussion. There was consent agenda item 13J.
Is that the only one?
Yeah, that's the only one.
13J. All right, I entertain a motion to approve subject to 13A.
Move to approve, Judge.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. What's the issue there?
The only comment that we have on that is a legal review has not been completed on the advertisement packet.
Can you read the caption, please?
It reads, requesting authority to advertise and approval of procurement packet that's attached here to the following Hidalgo County Precinct 2 BCAP projects. Road and drainage construction for Rancho Escondido subdivision and road and drainage construction for Bell Bar subdivision.
What I understand from your office, Mr. Eufrasio, is that you want a verbal acknowledgement that Mr. Crane in the past has reviewed the template draft agreement that goes with these packets.
No, ma'am, whatever court is going to approve needs to be reviewed because the specifications that you advertise become the contract in some cases. So I think legal has to review that packet to make sure that everything is proper. That way when someone responds to it.
Counselor, have
We
you
haven't
reviewed it?
had legal counsel review the entire, we provide him the specifications in case he wants to refer that the contract is appropriate for that procurement, but we haven't had him review the specifications. Those are done by the engineer. They are drafted and we rely on their drafting of specs.
So are you questioning the specifications or the actual
Right,
contract?
the bid packet itself, because oftentimes there's questions about the contract, and the answer is that the bid specifications become the contract. So to me, it makes sense that legal will review the specs, make sure that everything's in order. I know that as far as the project and the scope of the work, that's going to be done by the engineer.
But legal's not going to have the engineering background to determine whether the specs are accurate.
What do you
No,
recommend?
no, I'm not talking about the scope of the work, Judge. I'm talking about the
You said for them
The
to review the
appro-
specs.
Maybe the
Yeah, but-
appropriateness of the contract document
But the
in relation to this packet?
The specification encompasses more than just the scope of the work. It talks about the legal issues and
Correct.
that sort of thing. And that's what I'm referring to.
How do you see your
Those
role
who-
there, Mr. Crane?
First of all, I am not a licensed engineer. I do not have the legal authority to review specifications. Secondly, we have never reviewed specifications going out for advertising.
And third, we don't want to pay you to do something that you're not qualified to do.
And I'm not licensed to review engineering specifications.
So what do you recommend, Steve?
Move to
We have
approve.
never done it, so I don't see we need to start now.
They have, though, reviewed the document, the
The
contract portion.
template, contract, but not the specification.
But that comes in place after they negotiate and come up with the
Correct.
terms.
Move for approval.
Well,
Second.
there's a draft contract attached to this packet,
And-
and I'm talking
and-
about the packet, yeah.
And he in the past has always reviewed that.
Okay, all right.
All right, we have a
Thank you.
motion and a second to approve that item 13J in the consent agenda. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I've been asked to move up item 13A as part of our policy and recognizing our future leaders of Hidalgo County. And item 13A, it's the agenda item 13A, Texas Agri-Life Extension Services.
Good morning. My name is Nora Garza. I'm a county extension agent with Texas Agri-Life Extension Service. And today I have the pleasure of introducing some of the best and brightest citizens of Hidalgo County. They are the district winners of our consumer team. We have some state winners in our clothing project. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves because they also take public speaking and they do very well in contests. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garza.
Good morning, my name is Renee Boyle and I'm from Mission, Texas. I had constructed this dress and I had made it all the way to state and I got second place. Also under the Texas Agri-Life, I compete under beef, I show rabbits, I'm on food and nutrition and food challenge. I also do roundup, grass identification, and I did a beef presentation this year. And so I would just like to say thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Brianna Bullion. I am from McAllen, Texas. I constructed this dress under the dressy category for clothing and textiles project, received first at county and district. I am also involved in the photography project, the food and nutrition project. I show rabbits, and I'm also involved in the shooting sports project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Claudia Martinez. I am from Mercedes, Texas. And it is my honor to say that our consumer decision-making team placed first place at the Claiborne Kennedy Livestock Show, which is our district event. We placed first with 4 of our team members, and I'm very proud to say that. I also am here for the fashion project, clothing and textiles, food and nutrition, horticulture and photography. I also show goats. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Amanda Salinas and I'm from Lynn San Manuel, and I'm here for the consumer decision making. I also do food nutrition, clothing, roundup, which I got first at county and district, and photography, and I show rabbits.
Congratulations. Next.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Martinez. I'm part of the county consumer team who got first in district. I also show goats, rabbits. I do photography and cotton style, fabrics and such. And I got all the way to district there with first place. And I show goats, rabbits, and horticulture.
Hi, my name is Matthew Salinas and I'm from the Lynn San Manuel 4-H Club. Today I'm here because I participated in the consumer decision-making contest, which we got first at the county and district level. I also participate in beef. I participated in the food and nutrition project where I got first at county and district level. I also did a PowerPoint demonstration at Roundup on beef, and I show rabbits. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Bianca Garcia. I'm from Edinburgh, Texas. I'm here for the clothing and textile projects. I got first county and district, and I show rabbits, horses, goats. I also do horticulture, and food and nutrition.
Good morning, my name is Timothy Bradford and I made this project for the clothing and textile project. I am also involved in food and nutrition, photography, horticulture, and consumer decision making. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Beth Quintanilla and I'm from the Lynn San Manuel 4-H group. I'm here today because I placed first in the consumer decision-making county level and second place in the district. I also participated in public speaking, the fashion show, beef, and photography. Thank you.
Hello. I'm also glad that me and my 4-Hers were here to come to you today and show you our progress throughout our lives. Without your support and dedication, we wouldn't be where we are today. So I would just like to say thank you.
Well, congratulations to all of you. So your dedication, your commitment, your hard work, and you certainly are, all of us here in this county are very proud of your accomplishments. Is there a proclamation that, Karina, do you have it?
Yes. Karina?
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. The proclamation reads, Hidalgo County 4-H Family and Consumer Science Champions. Whereas the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court is proud to recognize members of the 4-H Youth Development Program of the Texas AgriLife Extension Service for achievements in competitive events in the areas of clothing and textiles, fashion design, and consumer decision-making at the district and state level. And whereas the Texas 4-H and Youth Development Program places great value on the 4-H Family and Consumer Sciences projects. And whereas these projects expose 4-H members to the academic disciplines for family and consumer science and help them gain valuable skills and knowledge that meets the immediate needs of students today and tomorrow's workforce and the citizens of the community. Whereas these projects also teach leadership skills, and whereas Hidalgo County youth have excelled in family and consumer science projects and have enriched themselves and others through community service, and now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby commend the Hidalgo County 4-H Family and Consumer Science Program and its many members and adult leaders for their numerous achievements, for their willingness to represent the great county of Hidalgo while exhibiting the highest standard of character in various competitions, and for their dedication and commitment to the education of today's youth and future leaders of tomorrow.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, Judge, I have no doubt that they will be our future leaders. I did have the pleasure of having Vanessa and Claudia Martinez sit up at this chair this morning to take a picture from my precinct. And they did mention that it would be their seat someday. So congratulations on those goals that you're setting forth. And congratulations to all the children participating.
The picture? Yeah. Would you like to stand out here for a picture?
Go down there, Judge?
You want to go down there?
Somebody ever wants a picture, you can.
También eres 4-H.
También eres 4-H.
Yo también, part of them.
All right, We have a policy of taking up elected officials first when they're present, and that would include item 6B, the members of the Red Sands Groundwater Irrigation Conservation District. But before I do that, is Mr. Lodico present? All right, I'd like to take up that one. It's item 5A, resolution in honor of Louis Joseph Lodico for, as I understand it, 60 years of public service.
That is correct, Judge. We're very excited. We were asked by the City of Edinburgh Fire Department to help recognize the service of this young man, Mr. Lodico. And he's here today joined by Deputy Chief Ubaldo Perez and his wife, Sharon. Sharon, if you'd like to come up and join us. Louis Joseph Lodico began his service with the Edinburgh Volunteer Fire Department on September 8, 1952, and has continued since then for a total of 60 years of volunteer service. That's 60. He has served Mr. Lodico has served thousands of hours in emergency and fire service training in 31 subjects and has also served as a mentor to hundreds of young firefighters during his volunteer tenure. Mr. Lodico has held numerous leadership positions within the department, including Assistant Fire Chief, and he currently serves as Chief Emeritus. And we have a resolution we'd like to read in honor of Mr. Lodico, if I may read it.
All right. Before you do that, how old were you when you started? Yeah.
He was 18, he says.
You look very young.
You look like 60.
I'm going to read the resolution, and then I'd like to ask Mr. Lodico to say a few words if he'd like. Resolution in honor of Louis Joseph Lodico. Whereas Louis Joseph Lodico, husband and father of 4 children, began his service with the Edinburgh Volunteer Fire Department on September 8, 1952, and has continued since then for a total of 60 years of volunteer service. And whereas Mr. Lodico has gained certification as both a basic and intermediate firefighter, he continues serving the department and the City of Edinburgh with the highest integrity, honor, and commitment. And whereas he has served thousands of hours in emergency and fire service training in 31 subjects, and also served as mentor to hundreds of young firefighters during his service to the department. And whereas Mr. Lodico has held numerous leadership positions within the Edinburgh Volunteer Fire Department, including serving as Assistant Fire Chief, and is currently fulfilling his role as Chief Emeritus, the highest honor in the department. And whereas through his dedication, Mr. Lodico has distinguished himself as a vital and valued volunteer for the City of Edinburgh. His many years of volunteer service show his passion for helping others and for serving his community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court hereby recognizes and honors Louis Joseph Lodico for his 60 years of dedicated volunteer service to the Edinburgh Volunteer Fire Department. Approved this 24th day of July, 2012.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Lodico, thank you.
This was unexpected, and I do thank the Commission for recognizing the little deed I've done, and thank you very much. Appreciate it, and I'm happy to have served.
No, thank you very much for your 60 years, sir. I want to stress the word volunteer. For 60 years as a public servant, you are indeed to be congratulated. Yes,
Good morning,
yes.
Judge and Commissioners. Just to let you know that the volunteer firefighters train every Monday night. There's 52 Mondays in a year. And last night we trained till 10 o'clock, and Mr. Lodico was right there, right next to us. So we appreciate the recognition on behalf of the Edinburgh Fire Department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lodico.
Okay. Would you like to take a picture here, Mr. Lodico? Congratulations. Thank you, sir. All right, at this time, we're going to move down to item 6B, item on environmental compliance. We have present with us the elected officials of representing the Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District here in our county. Martina, are you going to make the presentation?
Yes, Judge. Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. The reason we're here is discussion and possible submittal of comments regarding application for an extension of a TCEQ scrap tire registration for Santa Anita Reclamation LLC until September 2017 for a land reclamation project using tires. We're requesting permission to submit comments to TCEQ regarding this project. Along with me up here will be the Fire Marshal, County Fire Marshal, and representatives from Red Sands and some of the landowners.
Get close to that mic so we can hear.
There are also representatives from Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District, the Fire Marshal's Department, and some landowners. Essentially, what the item is that under state scrap tire regulations, we're allowed to make comments on these applications for scrap tire facilities. At this point, we have gathered comments from the landowners and the residents in the area, along with reviewing some of their compliance with state regulations, and we have prepared some comments that were presented to that would be presented to TCEQ regarding this application. Let me hand it over to the Fire Marshal.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I do have some concerns about this project, and a lot of them deal with fire protection. The nearest large-scale fire department that we have in the area is about 22 miles away. We have learned a lot over the years fighting trash fires and tire fires, and a tire fire in a facility of this size would require over 1 million gallons of water. The environmental impact on that can be on a large scale, mainly because we have a water table that's about 4 feet underground.
That's 4 feet, right?
Approximately, and I believe that's what the number is, somewhere around 4 feet. And my concern is if we do have a fire in that area, the runoff, that water's got to go somewhere. And you're talking about 1 million gallons of water that's contaminated with petroleum products, and all that's got to go somewhere. Usually the remediation on something like that would require the digging out of all the dirt. Now, the problem is when you're talking about approximately 80,000 tires, we're looking at a lot of runoff, and it's got to go somewhere, and it's going to go in the ground. And that's another one of our concerns. Lack of water supply is another one of our concerns. There's no hydrants near the area, and we'd have to do a shuttle operation the entire time. It'll take multiple departments to get out there and extinguish a fire in this area. So we do have several concerns. It's in a very brushy area. If we have winds in excess of 25 miles an hour, we can start a brush fire, and we know that in that area there's a lot of brush, and what ends up happening is we end up with a wildland fire that can affect homes and people's lives. So those are our concerns. I did submit a letter as an attachment which echoes all of those concerns. We do also have some batteries out there that contain fuel condensate that are very near that area, and which is also a concern in the case of a fire. Any questions for me, Judge, Commissioners?
Well, that fire that occurred in Alton, that involved how many? About 100,000 tires, wasn't it?
That was about 100,000 tires, yes. So this facility, at its max capacity, can hold up to about 80,000 tires. So we learned a lot in that one fire in Alton. And the difference between the Alton fire and this fire is we have a fire department that's a lot closer to the one that we had in the Alton fire. We're a little concerned that a 22-minute response time at minimum from Edinburgh, because Edinburgh's going to have the bigger tanker trucks and the personnel to help out. We'll have to call mutual aid from several departments just to mitigate this type of a fire.
Isn't another distinction the fact that in order to put out this type of a fire, caused by these tire products. You have to dig a hole and then cover it up a little bit at a time until,
Right, that's
until
one of
they
the ways that we've learned of extinguishing these fires. Is you would dig a really big hole, fill it with water, and with bulldozers push the
But you're
tires
not going to be
into
able
it.
to dig a hole if you got a water table at 4 feet.
Correct. That becomes a problem, a very serious problem. At that point, we do what's called surround and drown, which is just a bunch of fire trucks using master streams, just throwing a whole bunch of water at it. The water's got to go somewhere, and that's what our concern is.
And we prepared, our environmental compliance office has prepared a letter to submit to the TCEQ?
Correct.
And you're asking this court to act on it and vote that it be sent to the TCEQ?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And it contains all these comments that you addressed us here today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Judge, we also have representatives from Red Sands.
All right.
From the city of Edinburgh.
Mr. Vela?
Thank you, Judge. If I may, I do have a letter that Red Sands has drafted and took action on yesterday. I'd like to pass that out to each of the commissioners, if that's okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I think the letter addresses the purpose of Red Sands, but I was asked by the board members to come and read this letter, and I might be remiss if I didn't, so please bear with me. This letter is addressed to the Scrap Tire Management Registration Coordinator and the Executive Director for TCEQ. And it says, Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District has received notice from Rio Delta Engineering on behalf of Lance Walker and Santa Anita Reclamation of their intent to request an extension of the land reclamation project using tires number 6200592. Their letter does not address the date the permit expires or the specific date to which the extension is requested, other than through September 2017. Red Sands is a small district created pursuant to Section 59, Article 16 of the Texas Constitution. Groundwater conservation districts were created for accomplishment of preserving, conserving, and developing the natural resources of the state. Groundwater conservation districts have the powers to regulate and use groundwater and to prevent the waste of groundwater or the degradation of water quality. Important there is the degradation of water quality. According to Texas Water Code, Section 36.0015, a groundwater conservation district is a local regulatory agency created to provide for the conservation, preservation, protection, recharging, and prevention of waste of groundwater. Within the Red Sands district, the water is used for agricultural purposes, including watering of livestock and wildlife. Much of the water is used for household purposes too. The water is easily accessed. In many areas, the table is less than 75 feet below, and no treatment is needed for personal consumption. According to the Hidalgo County Appraisal District, there are over 350 landowners within the district. It is estimated that hundreds of people within the district use groundwater as the primary source of water for running their households, including washing clothes, bathing, washing dishes, cooking, and for drinking. Many of these homes are within a 1-mile radius of this land reclamation project using tires. It has come to the attention of Red Sands that an investigation by TCEQ in December of 2011 revealed several violations that are of concern to Red Sands. The TCEQ report indicates that the land reclamation project using tires failed to conduct groundwater monitoring prior to its operation as required by TCEQ's permit. Furthermore, the report indicates that the LRPUT failed to submit an amended groundwater monitoring well site plan as required by TCEQ. Additionally, TCEQ reports that the LRPUT facility was storing an excess amount of tires, accumulating 15,000 tires as a result of downtime from a non-operational shredder. The TCEQ further reported that the LRPUT facility was releasing cooling water from the tire shredder into an unlined pit on the premises. The details of TCEQ's findings are detailed in their report. I did not attach it for you all, but we're sending that to TCEQ. The concerns of Red Sand go beyond the findings of TCEQ. Red Sands has great concerns that these old caliche pits that this tire reclamation project using tires is sitting below the groundwater surface, and water from the groundwater source is constantly exposed to the surface elements. And if I may explain that, gentlemen, a lot of these old caliche pits that are there, the state allows people to shred tires, and you have a mixture of 50% tire and 50% soil to fill up these old pits to level them off, and they can reclaim or reuse that property. Red Sands does not have a problem with the project in and of itself, only with the location where it is here or anywhere within the district because the water is so shallow. So in these old pits north of town, a lot of times you see water that this time of the year where there is no rain sitting in the pit because the water table is so shallow that these pits actually dip below the water level. And so what the problem is that whether they're below the water level or right above it, you've got scrap tire just, if not below the surface, just immediately above the surface of where a lot of these people drink their water and use their water for livestock purposes. And if you have, for example, a rain, it's going to carry down some of those toxins, some of those chemicals into the water table. And these people don't treat their water. They pull it out of the ground and they drink it. And it's a big concern of the district. To continue, the shredded tire pieces lay very close to or below the groundwater table. Allowing shredded tires to sit within the table or potentially seep petroleum products, byproducts, chemicals, or other pollutants into the groundwater creates serious concerns about the potential contamination of the valuable source of groundwater. These same concerns are shared by many of the landowners within the district who use water on a daily basis, many which rely on the groundwater not only for household use, but also as a means for their daily livestock operations. Contamination of the groundwater would have a devastating effect on our small community. The TCEQ finding that the LRPUT has been releasing cooling water from a tire shredder into an unlined pond or pit creates immediate concern for the impact of the wastewater that it would have on our groundwater. Red Sands is also concerned about the groundwater monitoring issues addressed by TCEQ. The biggest concern is that assuming that the LRPUT continues monitoring groundwater through its monitoring wells, by the time the contamination is detected, the entire water source has been impacted. Furthermore, based on information from the Hidalgo County Fire Marshal's Office, it is our understanding that in the event of a fire, any water or chemicals used to extinguish a fire at the LRPUT would, along with any byproducts or chemicals released from the burning tires, permeate through the sand beds and invade the precious water source, causing immediate contamination, thereby possibly harming humans, livestock, wildlife, and other agricultural life that depend on this water source as a means to live on a daily basis. Some of the questions that are of great concern are as follows. What assurances can the TCEQ or Santa Anita Reclamation LLC give to Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District or its residents that the tires in this LRPUT will not contaminate or affect the groundwater within Red Sands? How can TCEQ or Santa Anita Reclamation LLC assure the community that if the groundwater is impacted, that the water would be safe to consume or use? What happens if the LRPUT causes long-term or permanent contamination of the water source? How will residents in the community run their households? And in the event of contamination, what recourse do the landowners, household users, community members, or Red Sands have against TCEQ or Santa Anita Reclamation LLC? Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District is responsible with preserving and protecting groundwater within its district. Based on the information we have at hand, Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District opposes the renewal of any permit for Santa Anita Reclamation LLC or any other LRPUT within its district. Renewing the LRPUT permit for Santa Anita Reclamation LLC would have the potential of an unfavorable or damaging effect on the life, property, and groundwater within Red Sands Conservation District.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Martin, what we're going to be acting on is not this letter, but the comments that you have prepared. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir, along with the comments that the fire marshal has prepared.
All right. If there's, are there any questions?
You need action for this?
Yes.
So for approval?
All right, those in,
Excuse me, Judge. There was also some comments that Precinct 4 from Commissioner Palacios, staff.
all right, go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Sorry, Joseph couldn't make it today, but he did want me to read this letter to state his position for the record. That's going to be accompanied with the comprehensive package that the county is going to be sending to TCEQ. It says, I would first like to express my appreciation to the community of Lynn San Manuel and the Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District. As County Commissioner of the constituents of Precinct 4, I feel it is my duty to assure the community that the rural areas of Precinct 4 are always preserved and protected. After reviewing the county fire marshals and the environmental compliance division's letters regarding the application for extension, I feel that the concerns addressing fire protection, lack of water supply, fire history, and environmental concerns are all viable interests and merit thorough review before TCEQ grants an extension. Preserving and enhancing the environment is not just an issue in Hidalgo County, it is a worldwide issue that is imperative to our well-being. I am proud to say that Hidalgo County is making a difference by raising awareness of the concerns of Lynn San Manuel to TCEQ. It is everyone's responsibility in this county to make a difference in improving our environment today and for future generations. I would like to commend the landowners of Lynn San Manuel, Red Sands Groundwater Conservation District for their efforts in assuring that future environmental efforts are always of the utmost importance to our community. Sincerely, Joseph Palacios, County Commissioner, Precinct 4.
All right, thank you, sir. We have a motion and a second to approve the submittal of the comments as prepared by our environmental compliance officer and our fire marshal.
Excuse me, John, I'm really sorry.
Yes, sir.
We do have a representative from the Edinburgh Fire Department here who would like to give their comments on this matter from Chief Snyder. His name is Chief Pettis.
Good morning again. I have a letter here from Chief Snyder. Good morning, Judge Garcia and Commissioners. I'm sorry I'm not present to report in person. I'm currently at Texas A&M Fire School this week coordinating rescue courses for volunteer and paid firefighters. The county has requested an opinion from the Edinburgh Fire Department on possible tactical considerations and pre-planning a response to a fire at the tire recycling site on FM 1017 and FM 3250 in Lynn San Manuel area. There's a few possible scenarios that could occur. I will list them with the possible solutions and considerations for each. First, a vehicle fire on site can be extinguished by the local fire department. 2, a grass fire on site, fire can be extinguished by a local fire department. 3, a fire in the tire grinding or cutting processing machine, fire should be able to be extinguished by a local fire department. Some assistance from Edinburgh may be needed. 4, a fire in the tire storage area set for grinding. My understanding is the area is permitted for 5,000 tires and currently has over 70,000 to 80,000 tires in storage. This would be a major fire to mitigate and would require significant resources from multiple fire departments to extinguish. Because of the water runoff from firefighting, there would need to be a consideration given to the validity of using water to extinguish because of penetration or permeation into the ground because of the sandy soil conditions. Based on the pictures provided, there is a appearance of the presence of ground and rainwater in pits in the area. Their area environment issues to consider. If there are, the best solution may be to allow the fire to burn. The 5th option, a fire in the actual landfill site where the tires are buried. Depending on specific area where the fire is located, the same solution for this fire would be applied as stated in the previous incident. But my experience with landfill fires are that if they are to be successfully extinguished, they must be a continuous supply of Class A foam and water from firefighting hose lines and a large amount of fill dirt and bulldozers to create a suffocating dirt cap over the affected area. This is the only way to effectively extinguish the fire. Keep in mind that the municipal landfill in Edinburgh is an encapsulated site with each cell being lined with a heavy poly liner. This may or may not be the case at this site. Edinburgh Fire Department is located approximately 22 miles from this location. Our response time to this area would be about 15 minutes, and other assisting departments would be 30 or more miles from the site. The list scenarios to identify the possible impacts that could occur if there was a fire on this site. Each contains possible solutions. The fire chief and department responding will need to take these concerns into consideration while effecting an operational plan to mitigate an incident at this site. So just as an example, the Alton fire took 12 and a half hours to mitigate, had 9 departments responding, and there was significant damage to responders' equipment during that incident. A landfill fire, if you wanted to know, we've had a fire at the landfill before, and it's taken 2 years to extinguish the fire. And so what happens is, as they bury the fire, 3 months later, smoke starts coming out on the other side. So we go over there, we dig it up, we put it out, cover it back up. 3 months later, we're back out at the landfill because the fire just continues to burn. So that we're aware of, it took us a while to put out the landfill fire. So those are the considerations that should be taken upon when you're making your decision.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that desires to make any comments?
I just have a question, Judge.
No, sir. No, sir, Judge.
We have one question from Commissioner Quintanilla.
I notice it's an application for extension, so how long has this been going on?
How long is the initial? They started operating in December of 2010. So they were authorized originally for a year and a half. Their year and a half authorization terminated this June of 2012. They're requesting a 5-year extension to 2017. Their pit is essentially less than a quarter filled at this point. And they would continue to fill it with 50% mix of tires and dirt, essentially.
And these environmental issues were not brought up back then?
Excuse me, sir?
These environmental issues were not brought up back then, or they were?
They were part of the review by TCEQ, but at the time, the comments from the county and the local government authorities were not as detailed.
All right, sir.
Because I can see where, this community would definitely have some issues with contaminations.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve item 6B as presented. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. There's 3 ayes, and for the record, 1 abstention. Myself, I'm born in that area, still own property close to this facility, and as a lawyer, I've represented some of the landowners on this particular issue back in 2010. And even though I do not believe I'm legally disqualified, because this is a different issue, out of an abundance of caution, since there's no vote needed anyway, I'm going to go ahead and abstain. And Monica, can you bring me something I can sign? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's go back to it. Well, no, we have Mr. Armando Barrera, our tax collector, who is also an elected officer in our county and has been for over 20 years, I guess.
60. Thank you, Judge. Number 7 is, I'm not going crazy. It's that was put on there by mistake. Somebody else needed to apply for that. So there's no action on 7. Okay. I'm here for actually I'm here for 17A with the Budget Department on the scofflaw.
All right, let's move on then to item 17A. It's presentation and discussion on Operation Clean Slate.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. You're being, there's a update being forwarded to you right now.
What was that, sir?
There's an update. You currently have in your hands an update on the Clean Slate initiative. Listed, you'll see some milestones and some key activities that are pending, and we hope to address the issues, the critical issues relating to the next steps moving forward. We have here representation from the IT department who will update you on the status of the testing equipment and the modules. And we also have Mr. Barrera here to also discuss some of the processes and his suggested and his comments and reservations regarding moving forward on this project.
You got an extra handout, Ray?
Yes, sir. There is an update regarding the development on the model. IT has told me this morning that they have completed the development and testing phase, and I'll let them discuss that at this time.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. I'll be quick about this. After designing and developing the actual collections model and the website for collections, and that was pretty much the hard part, and that's been pretty much ready to go. We had to kind of handpick and fine-tune test some equipment with the vendor. That's actually already all been identified, tested. It will be picked up, the testing unit will be picked up this week and set up at the tax office with the permission of the tax assessor, so we can test it with a live queue. Aside from that, we are at a point that we are ready to proceed. We're just waiting on the court for authority to move forward. And that is pretty much all I needed to present as far as technology, sir.
Okay, as far as the tax office, what we're going to do is if the person shows up that's on the program, and there's going to be, I guess they're going to set up some kind of way for me to inquire. This person has a fee. I'm going to reject them. I'm not going to give them their license plates. I'm going to say, you need to take care of this fee. I know last week I was listening in on the internet, and y'all mentioned, well, who's going to collect that fine? I don't feel like I have the authority to collect that fine. I'm not bonded for it. I think that the person at that point needs to go down to the JP or wherever and pay that fine, then return to my office, and I'll give him his plates.
How do they do it in other counties?
That's the way they do it in other counties.
What way?
They go and pay their fine, and then they come back.
They go back to the JP? They don't collect them at the tax office?
Not that I know of, no.
Because bonding and authority are two different things. And
well,
we can get you bonded with a simple insurance policy, but the authority, does the tax office have the authority?
I need to look at that.
Yeah. I don't believe I do, and I'm not prepared to do it anyway. We've grown at the tax office we got over 500,000 cars every year. And as you know, we haven't had any new employees over the last 3 years. And the system is, you can go in my lobby and any one of them, and you'll see the crowds that are in there. Now, I'm adding another process, which is to check everybody's driver's license. Now, I also have to check the mail. Last year we had 56,000 people who mailed in their registration. I got 23,000 that were processed over the internet, and then we have the HEB who did 58,000. And I still got to check all of those. So this is going to slow down my system, no question. We're adding another process to, I got to check 500,000 cars. And then on top of that, you want me to collect the money, which I don't feel I'm authorized to do to begin with. Now, and that's the reason that I'm prepared to do it, because I think it's for the good of the county. And we're going to take on all those new responsibilities, but I think we're going to have to draw the line there as far as collecting the fees. That's somebody else's responsibility, and I feel like they need to do that. As far as...
Before you move on to another area, what does the committee think? I mean, you guys have been meeting now for probably a year.
Let me ask the committee, how many of you all have ever collected any money before, the people on the committee? Yeah. I think you need to put people that have actually done collections when you start up these committees, Judge. Because I can tell you what it takes to collect the money and what it's going to take in my office as far as workload and checks and balances and things of that nature, all the things required that I have to do. So.
All right.
Like I said, you can talk to the committee if you like.
That's what I'd like to do, yes. Go tell us, sir.
So the proposal of the committee has been always to facilitate and make the constituents have a convenience of being able to pay their outstanding fees and fines. What we're requesting is to work through Mr. Barrera's office and have the additional fee which was addressed, which was approved by the court at $20, be assessed in through the justice system, and we would then include that $20 as part of their vehicle registration. The $20 that Mr. Barrera would be collecting would be on behalf of the justice of the peace, but it would be included as an additional fee through the SAGE justice system. So we would have a new fee for anybody that is over 90 days old. This fee would then be part of the vehicle registration.
So if they owed $100, now they're going to have to go back to the JP and pay $120?
That is the option that is currently on the table. The one option, which is the individual is notified that there is a outstanding fee and fine, he will be denied vehicle registration, and he will then proceed to the respective justice of the peace and clear that up. The justice of the peace would then sign a letter. Basically, it's referred to as a clearance letter that would come back to the tax assessor's collector's office. He would endorse that and accept that, and then proceed in issuing his vehicle registration.
Are you and your committee recommending that we do that?
That's correct, sir.
Right, but is that allowed by statute? Because all the fees that are collected by the county are set by statute.
That's
and the
correct.
statute also tells you where those funds are going to be deposited into. You cannot just decide to put it here or put it there. So I was wondering is that what the statute says?
The statute 502-185 basically says that these $20 can be used back to reimburse for expenditures incurred, and it is that vague. So the intent was to utilize these monies back to the program, whether they be additional staff if the court should wish to decide, or additional monies to enhance IT efforts.
I understand that, well, first we went through the voluntary phase. Then we're going through this scofflaw phase about vehicle registration and driver's license. And how long does your committee recommend that we stay in that phase?
As far as the scofflaw, it'll be a staple of this county from now on, sir.
All right. And then at what stage do you propose that we refer the ones that have been uncollectible to our lawyers?
I think that we already have a batch that can be submitted to a third-party collector. We've identified that as being the cases that have been over 5 years, that has been no activity, there has been no attempt, and more than likely those people will not pay unless notified through another means, either the third party or the district attorneys.
Am I correct that Josie's going to take over that effort, and and her department?
I am not aware of that, sir.
Josie? Mr. Guerra volunteered you some time back.
The committee does not speak for Mr. Guerra, sir.
Judge, normally when cases are referred to the third-party attorneys, the county clerk does that. After a case has been delinquent for so long, they refer cases to those. We have a contract with the...
Well, we have a contract, but we have a dispute, with an ongoing dispute with the district attorney as to really what should be done. And he was at that time suggesting that we hire in-house counsel. We now have hired 3 in-house lawyers, and that they be given the responsibility of collecting those unpaid fines. And you know, there's nothing wrong with that. We've got if that's something that can be done in-house. You know, I don't want to speak to it, but I'd like at some point maybe to hear from Josie after she has an opportunity to talk to Mr. Guerra, perhaps. Maybe sometime next week you can tell us, Josie. If not, we need to get some third-party law firm in there. All right.
Judge, also in reference to a fee collected by one office on behalf of another office, currently we have that in place. Some elected officials collecting on behalf of another elected official, but there's an agreement to that effect. Just thought I'd let you know.
Judge, I'm not sure that the JPs want me to collect that for them, and I will tell you that I do not want to collect that for them. Also, I also would want that $20 to go to my department, so, you know, for all the work that we're doing over there, so I could hire maybe an additional person or equipment or what have you.
All right, any other comments?
Sir, the only comment that I wanted to include here was that the facilitation of the tax assessor's office is vital to ensure that we move forward. Mr. Barrera has endorsed this program. We're looking forward to working with him. And this is not any more different than the county courts and the district courts collecting on behalf of their respective judges. It's just a pass-through filter that Mr. Barrera is doing. The statutes are clear with respect to this money's being collected by the tax assessor collector. He can do that. He has done his diligence and contacted other counties and also informed us of how they're doing it. And it's something that we're looking forward to completing.
All right. Any other comments? All right. Then there's no action needed then, right?
That's correct, sir. And we have a series of deadlines that are coming up. We'll be updating the court as soon as we're completed on the next phase of development.
And that next phase you project to be when?
As early as next week. Renan has, as he stated, the testing equipment has been completed. They will be working with the tax office to install this equipment and report back to the court on the results.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay. Item 5A2.
Hi, Judge, Commissioners. Karina Cardoso again with the Public Affairs Office. I don't know if y'all have seen the news recently, but we have some very special guests today in our midst, these three fabulous young ladies up here in the front. They are the owners of the RGB Cupcake Factory, and if you've seen recently, they're the recent winners of the show, the TV show Cupcake Wars, which has been held on the Food Network. And they're here today, and we wanted to present them and recognize them for their hard work and efforts in bringing such positive light to the Rio Grande Valley and Hidalgo County. And we have a certificate to present. But I'd like to say a few words first. We had a clip to show you from the TV show, but unfortunately we were unable to put it with the audio, so I'm going to have them share a little bit of their experience on the show. I don't know if you all have had the opportunity to see the show, but it was fantastic. I was watching it when I saw it, and I was so proud of these young ladies. And, you know, Judge, you wanted to recognize them for their hard work and seriously bringing the Rio Grande Valley, you know, into such recognition on a national level.
In a positive, very positive
Very
light.
positive, yes, absolutely. So the RGB Cupcake Factory, located in McAllen, has been owned and operated for the past year, only the past year, by Sabrina Rodriguez Loak, Erica Rodriguez, and Joanna Sáenz. Sabrina and Erica represented the Rio Grande Valley and the RGB Cupcake Factory as they competed in the Food Network's Cupcake Wars competition. They excelled in all aspects of the competition and went on to win the $10,000 grand prize as the first Texan winners of Cupcake Wars. With this prize money, the RGB Cupcake Factory is considering growing to more locations in the Rio Grande Valley, and they most certainly need it after all that publicity they've received. I know that there's been lines and they've had to close up shop because they run out some days. So they actually brought several samples, and we will bring you some to taste in a little bit, and the public's welcome to enjoy a few of the refreshments and the cupcakes. I'd like to introduce the ladies to say a few words. Well, let me read the certificate first. I apologize. And their certificate reads, the County of Hidalgo, Texas presents this certificate of recognition to RGB Cupcake Factory for outstanding representation of the Rio Grande Valley through a successful performance in the Food Network's Cupcake Wars. Signed this 24th day of July, 2012. Congratulations, ladies.
Hi, I'm just so honored to be speaking in front of you men. I'm just like, it's almost just, it's so nerve-wracking.
We're dying to meet you guys today.
My name is Erica, this is Sabrina, and this is Joanna, and I just want to say that we're just so thankful and grateful that everyone has embraced us and has just taken it and just really appreciated what this means. I know people probably out there just thinking, oh, they just make cupcakes. It was just so much more than that to us. And it meant a lot that we were two Hispanic women from the Valley, and we were able to compete on a national level with so many other teams. And we actually made it, we prevailed, and we actually won. And I was telling the people that stopped and talked to me, no one knew where McAllen was, no one knew where the Valley was. And it's just so nice to know that they know where we're from now. But I just want to say thank you, and I really appreciate it, and you won't be seeing the last of us yet.
thank you so much for this recognition today. Thank you.
I thank all of you, the three of you, for your dedication, hard work, and for bringing us, the Valley, on the national level in such a positive way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you going to need?
Congratulations, ladies. What an honor.
All right, good luck to you. And thank you for those cupcakes that are outside.
Yes, we welcome the public, and we'll bring you some right now since you all probably can't
Watch
go.
it with Mingo, he'll eat them all.
Thank you very much, ladies.
O se los lleva.
O se los lleva.
All right, item 3.
Yes, Judge. The 5A3 is a presentation of the Public Affairs Specialist intern. If you recall, we appointed Mr. Armando Lozano a couple of weeks ago, and you had asked, Judge, that I bring him back and introduce him to the court. And I'd like to say a few words about him. Armando, if you would come to the front. Armando was appointed as a Public Affairs Specialist intern in our office, and he's been doing a fantastic job. He has worked out tremendously. He's a rising sophomore at Columbia University in New York City, my alma mater, studying political science and economics with a concentration in ethnicity and race studies. Armando plans to attend law school after he completes his undergraduate degree to study business law. And I forgot to mention that Armando was a valedictorian. He graduated last year, 2 years ago. He was a valedictorian for mission veterans. Armando is the first volunteer intern with the Public Affairs Division of the Judge's Office here at Hidalgo County. And he was motivated to intern with the county this summer so that he could further his professional experience working within the government and public sector. So I just wanted to take this moment to introduce Armando and welcome him again to Hidalgo County. And he has a few words to say.
Good morning, Commissioners Court. I just wanted to let you know to thank you for the opportunity to intern with Karina and Michelle in the Public Affairs Division of Hidalgo County. I've been gaining a lot of experience, and I'm excited to go back to school with something else on my resume and some more experience that I can say that I've worked already in the government and public sectors. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and congratulations for everything that you've accomplished so far. And look forward to seeing you accomplish a lot more. And hopefully you'll be able to come back and exercise your professional expertise in our Valley area.
Thank you so much, Judge.
All right, item B.
Okay, Judge, our next item is a recognition of the Hidalgo County Historical Commission. That was a typo on the agenda. We can just correct it for the record. It's not the Hidalgo County Courthouse, it's Hidalgo County Historical Commission. The Historical Commission, and we have members here, I'd like to ask them to please stand and be recognized and come up to the front from the Historical Commission. Ms. Aida Escobar, Ms. Anita Vela, Ms. Maria Leach, Ms. Valerie Gerlitz Ramirez, Mr. Oscar Martinez, and Mr. Rigoberto Ordaz. And unfortunately, Adela Ortega, who's leading the Historical Commission, couldn't be here with us today. But they were awarded the Distinguished Service Award for their outstanding preservation work accomplished in 2001. The Hidalgo County Historical Commission has been judged by the Texas Historical Commission as having gone above and beyond to preserve, protect, and promote the history of the county. And we have a certificate that was provided by the Texas Historical Commission, and we wanted to present it to them here at this meeting of Commissioners Court. And the certificate reads, the Texas Historical Commission presents this 2011 Distinguished Service Award to the Hidalgo County Historical Commission in recognition of its active and well-balanced preservation program, signed by Mark Wolf, Executive Director of the Texas Historical Commission. So congratulations, members of the Commission, on this distinguished honor, and we wish you the best in your continued work to preserve and protect our county's history. And would you like to say a few words, any of you?
First of all, not all members could be here present. We're all proud to be members of the Hidalgo County Historical Commission, which has in its mission to research, develop, document, and put out historical markers and information to the public. I'm very proud to belong to the commission appointed by you, Judge and Commissioners. Thank you very much. My name is Rigoberto Ordaz.
I would like to thank you all for your support. History, I believe, is very important. I am responsible for 2 markers there at the old cemetery. That old cemetery at one time was terrible. I have people there that are buried, so how come I took an interest? And then I got appointed to the Historical Commission. And it's just, you know, it's really very interesting to find out about the people that are there. There's a gentleman that came from Union County, Kentucky, Mr. Marsh, and he's buried there, and it's the first one that's there at the entrance to the west side. And he came and married a lady, Spanish-speaking lady, and he did a lot here for the county. And so this is what inspired me, you know, because you find out about these people that are there. And then, of course, I have some of my own people buried there. But anyway, we thank you for your support, and we hope that we can keep on counting on you. Thank you.
Thank
Adela could not be here with us. She's having knee surgery tomorrow. I just wanted, again, like express our thanks for all the support you've given us. And as you know, our major work is the markers, and right now we've got 7 in the making that we're waiting for to be dedicated soon. We have 35 members in the commission, all 4 precincts represented. And again, thank you so much for your support.
I thank all of you for keeping the history of our county alive and updated. You know, in order to appreciate where we're headed and where we've been, we've got to understand where we've come from. And certainly we appreciate the hard work that you are committed to doing and are dedicated and have been doing. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought.
It's okay. My name is Valerie Ramirez. Thank you also. I worked, Maria was my mentor. We worked on a unique marker for Edinburgh's Black Cemetery. We just celebrated our 20th Juneteenth there this year. There is an arm of the Texas Historical Commission called the Tropical Trails. It's to promote tourism. And they're planning to come to Edinburgh to meet on Tuesday, August 21st. The meeting usually goes from 8 till about 2. It's free, it's open to the public. Perhaps we'll be able to visit the Black Cemetery if the heat's not too bad. They're also looking at visiting Pan Am. And Pan Am has a project for the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. We have a lot of really good historical things going on here in the county, and we just thank you for your support.
All right.
If we can take a picture, Judge.
All right. You want to step here, please? Thank you very much. Thank you. Commissioner Paz. Have a good day. Thank you very much. All right, at this time, I'd like to skip 5C and move on to 5D. The appointment of one board member to represent the County of Hidalgo on the City of Donna's Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone.
Yes, Judge, as a matter of housekeeping, last week we met with the county auditor and city officials from Donna. There was some concerns that there hadn't been any reporting since the zone had taken place, and there's new administration with the city manager, finance director. They came to meet with us, we met with the auditor, and we came to the conclusion that they need to start reporting. And so one of the first steps was to, at least on our side, to reappoint or to appoint a member on our side, and then the city would also do so.
All right.
Thus,
I know that back in 2010, Commissioner Handy was appointed to a 2-year term that has expired.
yes,
And now we're trying to fill that vacancy.
yes.
And and I'd like to recommend, we've talked to Mr. Guerra, Valdeguerra, to serve on that Tax Increment Reinvestment Zone Board. Unless there's any questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve Mr. Guerra to be the new director.
We met with the city, and there's a question of whether or not this zone or this board is active. I think the county needs to inquire into whether or not we're going to be able to pay, because we're collecting taxes and we have those taxes set aside, but we haven't been able to pay because they have not reported or complied with the agreement.
Well, the membership has, that's one of the reasons we're appointing a new member. And hopefully he'll take up the slack and start meeting and doing what needs to be done.
Right. Take care of that. Move for approval on Baldi.
Second. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Guerra.
Judge, there's no action, item 6A, 1 and 2 at this time, unless the court needs to entertain action further down the agenda. And if I may, Judge, just real quickly, the only 2 items I have left are for item 6C and D, and those are both for advertisement of positions. I would like the court to consider advertisement of planning analyst and a budget analyst, grades 10, under item C.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And for our Health and Human Services, item D, it'll ask the court to consider advertisement of a clerk 3, eligibility specialist 2, billing specialist 5, and a carrier, grades 5, 6, 9, and 2 respectively.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Judge, item 5C hasn't been voted on.
I know I didn't know how long it would take. It's a presentation, correct? We're running a bit late, that's why I was trying to.
It is, Judge. It's just a presentation. If you'd like to, we can breeze through it, or you want to take it up next week, maybe if we have a lighter agenda, whatever you do.
How long will it take?
It's just an update on all of the projects for the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program.
Well, that still didn't answer the question. How long will it take?
I can be very brief if you'd like. I have a PowerPoint presentation that's about 19 slides long.
We can do it next week.
And members of the committee are here.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't realize they were here. I thought it was just you making a presentation. Okay, well, go ahead.
Okay, the item reads, and this was at the request of the court to actually update and present on the utilization of the funds for the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant Program. And members of the committee are here represented by Mr. Jaime Longoria from the judge's office, Mr. Juan Ibarra from Precinct 1, Ms. Mona Parras from Precinct 3, and Mr. Richard Sunday from Facilities Management. And real fast, there's a PowerPoint on your screens in front of you, and the Hidalgo County Energy Efficiency Program was funded by the EECBG program. And we're going to talk real fast about some precinct projects, the other countywide EECBG projects, the commuter rail study, and the energy efficiency strategy. As you know, the stimulus funding was from the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. It was a $3.5 million grant from the Department of Energy, and it enabled the county to begin the implementation of green and energy efficient projects. In Precinct 1, There were a total of 3 phases, and the cost totaled about $852,000. The benefits including retrofitting the administration building for JP Sáenz and Morales, the Precinct 1 Constable's Office, the Precinct 1 Admin Office, and the Tax Office Substation. In Phase 1, it included the lighting in Precinct 1 facilities, Delta Lake, Sunset Park, and Veterans Park. Phase 2 included La Villa, Ed Couch, Elsa, and Mercedes, with lighting of municipal facilities, parks, and the water plant. Again, in Precinct 1, Phase 2, La Villa, Ed Couch, Elsa, and Mercedes, the municipal facilities, parks, and water plant. And Phase 3 is the retrofitting administration building for JP Sáenz and Morales, Precinct 1 Constable's Office, and the Precinct 1 Admin Office, and the Tax Office Substation. In Precinct 2, as you know, Commissioner Palacios, we utilized the funding from this grant for the multipurpose center, which utilized approximately $822,000 to construct the county's first green facility. Uses a combination of solar lighting, wind turbines, and photovoltaic systems to conserve energy and to curtail electricity spending. Some of the results: reduce consumption of natural resources, minimize environmental impacts, decrease maintenance and utility expenses, and really greatly reduce the electric bill. Is that right, Commissioner Palacios? Cost savings to the county is estimated at approximately $30,000 a year. In Precinct 3, they implemented the funding to include solar lighting in 6 colonias, including Cuevitas, Havana, and Los Ébanos. There's 2 lights put in each community, 2 lights at Catarina Park, and 4 lights at 107 in Iowa, for a total of about 21 lights. The precinct also made some energy efficiency events and solar lighting and retrofitting in parks and facilities. If you recall, earlier this year we had a Green Spring Fest in Precinct 3 at Pueblo de Palmas, the celebration of lights, with U.S. Congressman Henry Cuellar, U.S. Department of Energy officials, county judge, and colonia leaders and residents. And as you can see in the picture, the kids were able to play under the light of the new solar light that was put in the park. Some of the energy savings in Precinct 3, energy costs compared in the months of February, March, and April with the same months in 2012. They reviewed energy bills from all parks and pavilions. In 2011, the energy cost totaled to $3,824. In 2012, it went down to $1,000, a total savings of $2,821 and $940 savings per month. The retrofitting of the facilities with LED lights in Precinct 3 included the multipurpose facility, Los Ébanos Pavilion, Veterans Pavilion, Santos Saldaña, 107 in Iowa, Mesinas Pavilion, and the pavilion located at Ansalduas Park. Precinct 4 utilized the funding, about $72,000, to invest in energy solutions. They also did solar powered lighting in colonias, and they retrofitted lighting in the administration building. 2 colonias within the Precinct 4 area have each received 4 solar-powered lights, and this has greatly benefited the 162 residents in Engelman Estates and the 329 residents in El Charro No. 2 who did not have any street lights. The installation of the retrofit lighting in the administration building included 7 wall packs, 18 sensors, 4 digital time switches, and 180 LED tubes. Precinct 4 has completed all the projects through the grant, and as a result, the office is functioning on an efficient system that reduces the cost of energy. The energy savings will be realized over time, and change will be significant enough not only to pay for the new equipment, but also to produce a return on the investment. Some of the countywide EECBG projects that were implemented were the energy efficiency retrofits in all Hidalgo County offices with LED lighting, which consume less energy, they're long-lasting, environmentally friendly. As you are well aware as well, the county implemented the energy efficiency and conservation strategy with the help of a consultant, and this strategy is to guide the county in implementing new technologies and policies that will result in energy savings. They're going to propose recommendations for energy savings in county facilities and identify programs that can be adopted to enhance energy efficiency and conservation in the community. And as well, the commuter rail study was funded under this program. The feasibility study was completed in August 2011, and the board is currently now working to evaluate capital programming decisions at the municipal and regional levels. Hidalgo County benefited tremendously from the partnership with the U.S. Department of Energy and will continue advancing these green initiatives and remain a leader in promoting sustainable efforts in our community. And if anyone has any specific questions on any of the projects, we just wanted this opportunity to share what's been done with this grant. But the members of the committee are here if you need any more information.
Well, my biggest concern was that the report that was prepared on the energy efficiency that was prepared by Mr. Basaldua and the other gentleman that was here.
Certainly, Judge, what the committee has done is we're reviewing the actual strategy. It's going to take us a little longer than the week to review the document. We're working with both the contractor and the subcontractor to include our remarks and our concerns to the final document. And once that is done, we're going to bring it back to Commissioner's Court. We're ready to proceed with that. Judge, I also wanted to say regarding the Energy Efficiency Conservation Block Grant, what the committee is trying to do is the committee is trying to reduce overall energy consumption in the county. You know, for instance, that whole facility that Commissioner Palacios has in Precinct 2, we've significantly reduced the electric bill, you know, on a yearly basis for the next 20, 30 years for the life of that building. And the committee is very, very excited about that, is that we're not only making changes for this year, you know, or for short-term changes, but these things are going to be, these projects are going to be here for the years to come and are really going to have a bottom line impact for all of the precincts and all of the constituents in Hidalgo County. And we're very grateful for the opportunity to administer this grant on behalf of the county.
And if I may say one more thing, part of the grant's objectives as well was to promote the funding opportunity that was here that provided to the county. So they're really asking us to really share this with our community and have Hidalgo County emerge as a leader in energy efficiency. So that's the purpose of this presentation, and we will continue to promote it on our website, on our social media, and in presentations to communities as well.
So that last section of the report, the one related to, I guess, Mr. Basaldua's part in it, that'll be done later?
Yes, sir. I intend to bring it back next week for an update. We just wanted to give an overall picture of what the grant funding was used for, and then next week we'll bring the actual strategy back for adoption.
Thank you.
One last item, Judge. I just wanted to read the committee members. So if you all have any comments or any questions for the committee members, they are Roland Garcia from the Office of Management and Budget, Moises Salazar from the Purchasing Department, Chris Villarreal and Darlene Betancourt from the Purchasing Department, Karina Cardoza and Michelle Villarreal from Public Information, Ramiro Sendejo and Deborah Fisher from the Auditor's Office, Rick Sunday from Buildings and Grounds, Juan Ibarra represented Precinct 1, Manny Casas and Katia Garcia from Precinct 2, Mona Parras from Precinct 3, Maria Lucio from Precinct 4, and Chris Villarreal also from the Purchasing Department, and yours truly, Jaime Longoria from the County Judge's Office. Any comments that you have regarding this strategy or questions, you're welcome to direct them to any of the committee members. Thank you all very much.
All right, thank you. Next item, I believe, is item 8, our Health Department. Mr. Olivares, nothing to present. Then item 9.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners, Oscar Montoya, County Judge's Office, Emergency Management. I'm here requesting approval on the request of the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council for local contribution match in the amount of $2,000 in support of a Spanish language public safety early weather warning system for the Lower Rio Grande Valley. Basically, it's a $30,000 match of a $120,000 grant. The Senator Eddie Lucio championed to put us in line with El Paso, Miami, San Diego, to try and get the weather alerts and any emergency alerts out to the Spanish-speaking public. This grant's going to pay for some series of repeaters to be put up in several locations, and it's going to allow, and it's going to purchase a software so that anything that's put out by the National Weather Service or the news media can be put out in Spanish as well. It's going to interpret it for us. It's a good opportunity. We're at, their calculations was 80% Spanish-speaking first language in the region, and this would get the information out to them, and they're pretty definite, and we agree with them that it could save some lives.
Move to approve. Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 10, Facilities Management. Mr. Sunday? Monday.
Just Tuesday.
Item 10, Facilities Management.
Judge, Commissioners, Rick Sunday from Facilities Management. We have these amounts from Verizon Wireless to be approved by the court. and I believe them to be overages where facilities management employees are receiving text messages and such from other counterparts in the county.
Were these items approved by Commissioners Court prior to, because this go back to December of 2011, it's a retroactive expense.
There were also some data cards that were returned, and to the best of my knowledge from speaking to IT and Renan, there was something remiss in the procedures in the IT department about getting these properly set up with Verizon, and we discovered it after the fact.
So we're trying to correct something that should have been done in '08?
Yes, sir.
Vote to approve.
Judge, but we're not allowed to pay retroactively or get approval, and that's what I was wondering, if court had approved the data cards and the telephones to have this.
Who are we paying here? You or Verizon?
No, Verizon.
Well, we got to pay them.
Yeah, we owe them.
We owe them, we got to pay them.
Service.
Right, but if I incur an expense the court has not approved, I have to pay that out of pocket.
No, well, we're gonna go ahead and approve it.
All right.
That's a claim, no?
Yeah.
It's a claim.
Is this a claim, Steve?
It appears to be a claim.
Yeah. We're at a loss to figure out how to otherwise do it.
All right, well, those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Urban County, item 11.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Our first item on the agenda is a request for the approval of a resolution for designation of authorized bonded signatories for the Texas General Land Office, GLO, formerly known as TDRA. This is to authorize the signatories such as the Judge, Yolanda Chapa, Diana Serna, and Antonio Barco, so that we may access the $20,942,000 for the drainage improvement projects.
Vote to approve.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Diana, before you proceed to the next one, I've just been made aware that we have to, at this time, recess our regular meeting and convene a Hidalgo County Commissioners Court workshop for today, July the 24th, 2012. We have a quorum, Commissioner Quintanilla, Flores, and myself, and it's a 2013 budget overview B update on countywide master park plan.
I believe Mr. Guerra will be presenting on the master parks plan.
All right, what about the budget overview?
We have staff passing out the overview. I don't know, do you want me to go through the budget right now, or do you want to finish out the Commissioner's Court first? Or?
Well, how long will it take you?
It's about a 5-minute presentation.
Well, no, if it's 5 minutes, go ahead.
Any questions or answers that y'all might have?
Go ahead.
It's basically just a quick overview of where we're about to begin the budget process and some of the issues that we'll have to address as far as moving forward in developing the 2013 budget. As you can see on the first page, we have 2013 estimated revenues of $159,500,000. This represents approximately a 1% increase in property valuations. The values, again, these are just estimates. The certified values won't be delivered from the appraisal district to us until later this week. Basically, our 2012 adopted budget was $166.7 million. We've had $3.7 million worth of adjustments to our budget since it was adopted in September of last year, making our base budget for 2013, if we keep all the same programs, personnel, and operating expenditures, to $170.5 million, a shortfall of about $11 million. Again, we do have excess revenues that we get every year of about $3.5 million. We have lapses in salaries of about $3 million, and we always lapse about $3 million in lapse expenditures at the end of every year, bringing that deficit down, a fund balance drawdown of about $1.5 million at the end of our 2013 budget. If that is all we look at during the budget process, there are other things that we will need to discuss and have workshops on, one of which will be the cost of living adjustment. We've computed the cost of living based on the consumer price index from the second quarter of this year to the last time the court gave a cost of living adjustment. That percentage is 4.7, which equates to about $4.4 million in increases if court were to give a cost of living adjustment of that amount. Looking at the second quarter of this year compared to the second quarter of last year, there was a 1.9% increase in the consumer price index. And as I presented last year during our budget workshops, there was a 2.8% increase from last year's to the last time, basically equating to a total of 4.7%.
What percent did we work with back 3 years ago, whenever it happened?
The last time we gave a cost of living adjustment, I believe it was a 5% cost of living adjustment that was given by the court back in 2009, I believe. I believe when we have the workshop regarding the cost of living, we'll bring back a history of all the cost of living adjustments that the court has made. But if I remember correctly, it was a 5%. Other things for budget consideration will be the creation of the County Court of Law Number 8. That will be authorized in September of this year. We also have the Sheriff Substation, which is nearing completion. The Sheriff staff has advised me that they should be completed between November and December of this year. So there has been a personnel request and operating expenditure request by the Sheriff's Office of roughly $2.5 million to run the substation. And also we included in here any workers' comp contributions. The county has been paying at 0% for the past 2 years, and basically paying all our workers' comp claims based on our fund balance that we had. Right now, roughly we have about $3.9 million in our fund balance. We're averaging about $2 million in claims and administrative expenses for our workers' comp program. So we do have funds to go at 0% again. However, I would recommend that perhaps we phase in this workers' comp. That way we don't have if we were to go back in, we would roughly have about $1.2 million that we would have to contribute. I would suggest that we phase this in over a period of 2 to 3 years. That way the general fund does not incur the expense all at one time. These are just some of the items that we have for your consideration. On page 2, we have the adjustments that we have made since the adoption of the budget, and totaling $3.7 million. And then on page 3, we have a history of the salary sweeps for the past 5 years, history of the revenues overestimated for the past 5 years, and also the lapse expenditures that we've had during the last 5 years. We're planning to start the budget workshops not next week, but the week following. One direction I would like to get from the court is what dates would be best to hold these workshops. I know that having them after Commissioners Court, because of the length of our Commissioners Court meetings, might not be very conducive to having them right after Commissioners Court, since they will be lengthy discussions regarding some of these items. I don't know whether to have it maybe on a Wednesday or Thursday mornings. We've checked with the City of Edinburgh. Basically, the only dates that we have unavailable are Tuesday afternoons, because they do have City Council meetings, EDC meetings, and other committee meetings that they have on Tuesday afternoons.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, with respect to the workshops, I would recommend that we post 2 workshops a week out of an abundance of caution. We are in the middle of July. We adopt, I believe it's the 3rd week of September.
The 4th week of September.
4th week of September. My concern is the time that we have before the adoption of the budget with respect to the issues at hand. Right now, status quo, as Sergio said, we're roughly 11. If you keep the status quo, that the court would have to, or that we would be charged to make up. That does not include a priority that the court has with respect to a cost of living adjustment. That does not include, as Sergio has documented, the substation in Weslaco for the Sheriff's Office. Does not include other little issues that will surely come up. So out of an abundance of caution, I would recommend posting of 2 workshops a week, maybe a Monday or Thursday or a Monday and Friday. That way, if there is a need to meet, and I'm just trying to anticipate any issues that will come up at any one particular workshop, and also trying to accommodate or trying to make sure that we don't get ourselves in a bind with respect to the 72-hour posting notice for these workshops. Again, if we post 2, there's only a need to meet that one week, we just we cancel that second workshop.
Bottom line, Sergio, are we looking at as having a problem in coming up with the funding?
About the same as last year.
It's about the same as last year. I mean, the revenues have not increased significantly this year compared to last. We have approximately about a $1 million increase in revenues from property taxes. However, we've already incurred $3.7 million of expenditures that we've increased our budget since we last adopted. So basically, we would have to, if we don't intend to cut and we intend to keep the status quo, we would have to dip into the fund balance at this point. Roughly, the auditor has this.
What are you looking at in terms of dollar amount?
If we keep just the status quo, just approving what we have right now, I estimate we would dip into the fund balance approximately $1.5 million. Now, if we give a cost of living adjustment, that's another 4.4, unless we do just a 2% or a 3% cost of living adjustment, then of course that cost would go down. I would say that then at that point there would probably be about a $5 million dip into the fund balance. That again does not address the sheriff's substation, the operating of that facility, which court has made it a priority to get that done and committed funds to construct that facility in the west side.
So it's 5 plus what? 5 plus what?
2.5 for
If
the
we do-
7.5 million.
If we do the sheriff's substation cost of living adjustments, roughly about a $7 million drawdown to fund balance. Right now, I think on the auditor's fund book, we have a $26 million fund balance. I do anticipate that fund balance will go up between now and the end of the year to approximately $33 million, which if we have a $6 million drawdown 2013, we would end up basically around $28 million at the end of 2013.
And if we would dip it from the fund balance, it would bring us down to about 21 million, 20 million?
No, that would be...
we would be at about 27, $28 million at the end, after we dip into the fund balance. However, one thing that we do need to keep in mind is the fact that we will be dipping into the fund balance. If revenues don't come in again next year, then at that point it becomes unsustainable to be dipping into the fund balance. The $6 million every year.
17-18% of our actual budget?
At $28 million, we would be in that vicinity of, as our policy.
We'll be around 15%.
15,
Yeah, correct.
okay.
Sergio.
Yes, sir.
What about the funding for the activities, the courthouse, the jail?
Again, if again, we utilize all of these these valuation increases and keep them in the maintenance and operation fund, as is depicted here, we would basically have no capacity within our debt service to do some of these capital projects, such as the courthouse, the expansion of the jail. We wouldn't have funding for road projects. We have a communication system project that we have that we would need to go out for sometime this year. To the tune of about $8 million. So we would need to, if we were to adopt the budget, dipping into the $6 million, basically a net effect of about a $6 million drawdown, I would recommend to the court that we do some type of staff reduction plan within the next 6 months so that for the next fiscal year, we won't be in the same boat.
People that are getting ready to retire.
Yes, basically, and we could do a staff reduction plan via attrition, basically as people, we would identify departments, and as people leave, basically we would just not fill those positions again.
Right, we could, right, Commissioner, through attrition, those that are leaving, and take a look at those current vacancies within the general fund to see what we can do about consolidating either the service and realizing that savings from the reduction of those positions that are vacant currently.
I thought you were supposed to realize some savings by privatizing the...
Yes, we will realize some savings from the privatization of sanitation. Again, that also has an attrition component to sanitation, so we wouldn't realize the full $4 million savings from the sanitation program all in 2013. It would be phased in. But again, that's something, again, that court could use from the sanitation program to shore up their capital improvement plan and be able to utilize that funding from the sanitation for the courthouse and for the jail, and pay for some of the other capital improvement projects that we have within the county.
You know, you got to understand that when I first came into office back in 2001, our budget was what, 80 million? It's doubled since then?
Yes, we have grown substantially over the years.
Doubled
since
then.
And we had a fund balance of about, well, under $1 million.
Under $1 million, 700 and some thousand at one time.
Right.
Well, I just want to make sure that that you provide not only the court, but the general public with a true picture of what's out there. We're looking at big expenditures. You're looking at expanding the sheriff's office. You're looking at the possibility of a cost of living increase. So make sure that that you give us, at the public, general public, enough information so we know exactly what we're looking at.
Yes, sir. We can also provide during the next workshop, include an item in there for discussion on the capital improvement plan, so we can discuss all the capital improvement projects that we have within the county and the costs associated with each of these projects.
You know, Judge, we have on occasions requested information about the listing of properties that the county owns.
We're working on it. I have a young man in my office that is about through and is ready to hopefully sometime soon give us a report on all of the properties that the county owns, a history and a picture on each one and a history of what they're being used for, and to see which ones we can surplus and sell off so that they can be placed on a tax roll.
Excellent.
Yes, I believe the purchasing department has already compiled the notebook with all the properties, with pictures of the properties, their values, and I think Mr. Villarreal from the county judge's office is looking through them to identify which properties perhaps we could present to the court for selling off some of those assets.
I don't believe the report is all-inclusive. We're currently doing an audit and discovering that there's some properties that are not listed on that particular book.
Oh, okay.
So we'll identify some of those and provide them to purchasing, so they can add them to the book.
We would appreciate that, sir. Thank you.
We'll get them.
Commissioners, that will conclude my presentation. Again, as Mr. Valdegara mentioned, we just need to set those dates for those workshops so that we can get those scheduled and actually have the notice and issue out a calendar to all the department heads and to the constituents. That way, everybody will know when we'll be having our workshops, at what time. And
even if we have to meet Saturday mornings, whatever it takes.
That's an excellent idea.
Thank you.
Okay, Judge, Commissioners.
It's a workshop.
Under the workshop?
Is that it on the workshop?
No, sir, I've got one other item, and it'll be brief. It's on our park system, if I'm not mistaken. Do I have that on the workshop? Is that
yes,
it?
the park plan is in the work.
All right, Judge.
Is that it?
Commissioners, under the workshop for the Parks Committee has been meeting for several weeks for the last few months. There is an indication that we would want to look at having a user fee for our parks facilities. With that being said, if that is the case, then I want to bring to the court's attention that we would bring a resolution next week for Commissioners Court action so we can have an item under our general election in November for consideration by the general public for that fee. Right now, there is a deadline that I believe it's August 13th or the week of the 13th that we would have to notify our elections department of the court's desire to place something on the ballot. for the general public's consideration. If that be the case, I'll have a resolution next week for that consideration one, and within that time frame, we would get the fee to be charged with respect to the use of park facilities or the amenities within the park facilities.
But when you say a user fee, are those the fees that you pay to enter the park?
It could be entering the park or the use of a facility, say the Palmer Pavilion, or one of the pavilions in Sunrise Hill Park, or the kitchen, or the pavilion in Precinct 3. So that's what we mean by a fee.
Okay, but not an entrance fee?
Not per se an entrance fee.
What about if you go in Chancellor's Park?
Well, right now there is a fee, but that was established years ago, right? But again, the purpose of the resolution is for us to be able to have something on the ballot for the general public's consideration.
That's a good idea.
We would work out the details with the court.
Because there's a question right now about the fees that are collected. My understanding, the Commissioner's Court set those fees ahead of time, and also they had to be collected based on the approval by court. And so if someone wants to waive the fee, I think Commissioner's Court needs to approve their waiving.
Right.
Correct?
And yes.
Okay. Because the issue has come up recently that we want to waive fees, but my understanding is they cannot be waived unless court approves.
The governing body who established the fee would be the same entity that would consider waiving of that fee for any one particular individual or group, for that matter.
Thank you.
Okay, so again, with the court, just to inform the court that we will be placing a resolution next week for consideration to be placed on the November ballot for a fee for the use of our park fees or the facilities within the park system.
This would be countywide?
Countywide, yes, sir.
Okay.
Move to adjourn the workshop.
Thank you.
Second.
That concludes the workshop. So, do we need a motion?
There is a motion.
Second.
There's a motion.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Now we're going to item
Reopen the regular meeting,
13A.
15-8.
Irving County, 11B.
11A.
11A.
May I continue, Commissioner?
Yes, go.
Thank you. 11A2 is the request to authorize the county judge to sign any and all documents
Move to approve.
regarding round 2 funding.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item 11B is requesting consideration and action to replace the Exhibit B, which is a bid page submitted by 2GS LLC on a contract approved by the County Commissioners Court on July 3rd for the Texas Department of Agriculture Colonia Economically Distressed Program, the CDAP. This will be replacing the actual bid page, which is blank at this moment in your packet, with the one submitted by the contractor.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item C is requesting your approval to reauthorize the Urban County Program Director to sign and execute loan agreements, rehabilitation contracts, the promissory notes, release of real estate liens on property that has met the established affordability period, and the shoulder agreements as they relate to the home program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
D is requesting the approval to reauthorize the Urban County Program Director to approve certain change orders on the Urban County Program projects. These include change orders for time extensions as well as any budgetary amount under
Move to approve.
$50,000.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
He is requesting approval to reauthorize the Urban County Program Director to sign and execute contracts and agreements after Hidalgo County Commissioners Court approval as it relates to all Hidalgo County Urban County Program projects included in the annual consolidated plan.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
F is redesignation of the Urban County Program Director as a certifying officer designee for environmental review records for the procedures for entities assuming HUD environmental responsibilities for the programs known as CDBG, Home, ESG, Colonia, TDHCA, TDRA, and the GLOW program.
Move to approve.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
G is a request on behalf of the City of Hidalgo, requesting the approval of a best and final negotiated contract with EGB Architects in the amount of $56,100, utilizing year 23 funds, which are 2010, for the standard architectural services of a non-residential historic preservation project of the old Hidalgo County Courthouse in Hidalgo. Before you proceed, I would like to state that the auditor had a concern regarding the actual
The review by legal counsel.
review. If I'm not mistaken, page 10 indicates that the document was reviewed as to form by the attorney.
Attorney, okay.
Thank you.
Who? Second. Been moving second. Any discussion? Diana,
Yes, sir.
who negotiates the contracts?
In this particular case, it was the city itself and Tony Barco, in which they provided the best and final negotiated contract to us. We actually looked at it to see whether or not it fell in a certain percentage category and the amount of work that was being done, and we felt that it was appropriate.
Is Marty involved in the process?
No, sir, she is not. That would only keep us, not that I'm saying that it would be slow, it would keep us from processing our request in a timely manner to make sure that the projects were expended.
Well,
So you're recommending the approval, right?
I'm sorry?
You're recommending this approval?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right.
Yeah. It's not this particular contract that I'm asking for.
No, I understand, sir.
What I'm asking is we have, the court has approved or has indicated that we need to take a good look at who was negotiating the contracts.
Commissioner, I'd be happy to do that, but I would like to also advise the court that when we go through another party, it will take us longer. We feel at this point.
But the point is.
If I may proceed, sir.
Yes.
We feel at this point that we do not execute any contracts, or do not recommend to the court any contracts that exceed a certain dollar amount. We're trying to be extremely careful because we also have to justify the amount of the contract to HUD. So in this particular case, based on the amount of work, it appeared to be the appropriate amount to pay. However, if it is your wish that we proceed with contacting the purchasing department, we would be happy to do that for you.
Well, I'm saying, work with her and see
Well, I
what
think you
they're
put her on
doing.
notice of what you do anyway, correct?
I'm sorry?
You put purchasing on notice of what you do anyway in your recommendations.
But they actually just accept the information.
Right.
We take everything the purchasing department has, and we use that for our benefit, to
That's
make sure
correct.
that we can do that. Now, if the court wishes for me to go through another step and meet with someone in the purchasing department they can tell me whether or not I'm negotiating the project or the contract in the correct manner, then I don't have a problem with that.
I don't
What I
believe
want to
that's
make sure is that we all understand that anytime there's an extra party involved, we end up losing an extremely amount of time in order for us to do our projects.
I don't buy up on that, pero.
Commissioner, I will do whatever it is that you wish for me to do.
Well, I just will be consistent. If we're
Extremely.
doing it- If the court has agreed to do this for the county, it was done with the purpose of ensuring that we had somebody that understood or was familiar with the process.
That's why we have.
I'm not going to respond to that, Commissioner, because to me, at this moment, you're implying that I don't know what the process is. But I will have, Commissioner, if you want me to get another
No,
party involved, I will have you do
Let
that.
me give you a better example. Do you know what the customary charge of an engineer is per doing whatever?
The customary charge is normally based on the price of the contract itself, the actual construction estimate contract that we get from an engineer. Following the text dot procedures that were in the past, which are not currently in place, we know that there's a certain percentage. If a contract is over $1 million, we don't go over 8%. But then, of course, you have to take into consideration that we have additional items added onto an engineering contract as well as an architectural contract. But Commissioner, if you choose for me to go that way, I will have no problem with going through the purchasing department. They currently,
Mr. Sachin.
There's a motion before the floor.
I know,
is.
and it's like- I
But this is
open it up
we're
for
talking about a
discussion.
different issue, though.
Well, I'll open it up for discussion. What is the benefit having somebody working or reviewing the contract, not the contract, but the amount that is being charged.
Well, we currently do that for purchasing. I guess I do look at the scope of services, what's being offered, what I guess the normal application for that type of work is being done across the board, the rates and everything, and provide recommendations to the precinct as far as the cost. It could be some cost savings, could be some negotiations on that. I don't know. I'm sure that's what Ms. Hender's doing now, but that's what I do now for the purchasing contracts that are sent to me. Compare rates and then evaluate the scope of services and see what is redundant or not, and see where we can try to negotiate to a better price point.
And that's what I'm talking about, Diana. I'm not talking about this contractor.
I understand, Commissioner. Maybe the recommendation should be that I speak with Mr. Cecine when it comes to engineering and architectural contracts.
Anything to ensure that we get a good look, a good understanding, and good numbers to work with.
Since Mr. Cecine is doing it for the purchasing department, my best bet is Mr. Cecine.
Right. There's a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay, item H is the request on behalf of the City of La Jolla, requesting the approval of best and final negotiated engineering contract with S&B in the amount of $19,505, and this is for funding for the military park in La Jolla.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
The legal review was also done on that one?
Yes, sir. It's on page 10 of the contract. Item I is the approval of, now when you ask me that question, Mr. Eufrasio, it is reviewed as to form, because as I've indicated to you in the past, we fill in the blanks.
I understand.
Thank you. Item I is the approval of a revised resolution for designation and authorized bonded signatories for the Texas Department of Rural Affairs, known as GLOW now. The reason that this is being submitted is that the previous signatories, a member is no longer here, and we're requesting that we submit a revised one.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item 2 is authorize the county judge to sign any and all documents regarding round 1.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Elections.
Yvonne Ramon, Elections Department. Item 12A, discussion, including but not limited to election updates. I just have updates for you today. Sunday's paper, we were able to, once again, put a large insert with all the early voting sites as well as the election day sites, inviting everyone to participate in the runoff that started yesterday and will end on Friday. So it's important that everyone get out there to vote. Yesterday, we had turnout, including Republicans and Democrats, of 3,994 votes. So Monday, the first day of early voting, is usually a very important day, but it's important that we continue to get out there and vote. Keep in mind that early voting, you can vote at any one of those 25 sites. So the time to go and vote is now. So I'm encouraging everyone. What I think is important and what we're handing out to you is how do I obtain my sample ballot? So that's what I'm giving you. If you go to our website and you click on the left side under 2012 Texas Primary Runoff, the first page is the page that you're going to see. Now, what do you do with that? Well, it's got the early voting schedule, the election day schedule, but then you come across something that says ballot style legend. That's what you click and you get the second page. And on the second page, you will see that there are 20 different kinds of ballots that are out there right now, because there are 20 different ways to vote depending on the location in which you reside. So under that ballot style are the precincts that are tied to that ballot style. So for example, if you are precinct 57, then your ballot style is 1. And your ballot style then would look like the next page. And those are the elections in which you may vote. Keeping in mind that we have got various elections taking place and not everyone can vote in every single race. So I thought that it would be important that you understood where you could get a sample ballot, and therefore if anyone calls upon you, you can direct them to our website. The last handout is very important because we've given you the breakdown of precincts by districts. First is congressional, 15, 28, and 34. The next are by senator, 20 and 27. And it goes on to House and commissioners and constables, so that this is a really good handout to have whenever someone says, well, I'm in precinct 77, what's my district? Well, you can direct them to, if it's congressional, District 34. And you can go on and use this handout. Our county has grown, and with it, our jurisdictional representation has grown, and it does get a bit confusing at times. Of course, you may always direct them to our office, and we can walk them through how to obtain a ballot, how to be informed before they get out there to the polls to vote. If you have any questions, my office and I are always there to assist you with anything that we may help. Do you have any questions? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Steen?
Good afternoon, Commissioner, or good morning, Commissioners. Raul Singh, Planning Administrator. First item is partial lease letter credit, Brushland LTD subdivision. The letter credit originally was $454,435. It was for the paving and drainage improvements in the septic tank systems. They have constructed the paving and drainage improvements portion of it, and they're requesting a drawdown of $328,435. With the balance remaining $126,000. Everything's in order. We've done our inspection, have everything documented for the partial release letter credit.
Second.
Mr. Justino, are those the ones that are going to be made payable to
No,
First
sir.
Line?
No, sir.
Okay. Second one?
Hold up. Next one.
Have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
The second item is reimbursed cash deposit, Brushland Limited Subdivision Precinct 3. They had a cash deposit of $2,552.13 for the street signs. And just for the record, the release will be a check made out to Brushland Limited.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
If it pleases the court, because of time, since these are preliminary approval, there'll still be some further review by my office and other offices. I would like to take them collectively with exception of item 14BE, which is Iowa subdivision. I believe Commissioner Flores has already executed an affidavit, and it's okay for the court. I'll just read for the record: D&D Estate Subdivision, Idalia Subdivision, Asa Subdivision, Acres Santa Cruz Phase 1 Subdivision, and Vista Ridge Acres Phase 4 subdivision, all preliminary subdivisions, subject to future comments from my office and other departments as well. It has gone through the process. Advisory Board has approved it for those subdivisions.
Move to approve.
So I'll
On this one, it's okay, Commissioner. On this one, you're okay. And then the next one, you'll
second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, let the record reflect that Commissioner.
He's okay on this one, Commissioner. He voted on this one. On the next one right now, on Iowa subdivision, it's a preliminary subdivision.
That was not included.
Yes,
that was not
this one's
included.
not included on that action. On this one, Iowa subdivision, it's a precinct 3 subdivision, and it has gone through the various county departments. It has been recommended for preliminary approval by the subdivision advisory board.
Second. Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. I mean, I abstain, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Flores abstained.
For the record, Commissioner has signed the affidavit, and it's in place. Okay, we'll move on to final approval of Evergreen Valley Estates Phase 4 subdivision. That one was originally approved, excuse me one second, back in April 30th, 2012 by this Commissioner's Court. Since then, it has been fully constructed, and we have conducted our inspections. The Health Department also has conducted the OSSF inspections, and all the other county departments have signed off on it. everything is in order for the final approval of Evergreen Valley Estates Phase 4 subdivision.
To approve.
Second.
Been moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And next item is Evergreen Valley Estates Phase 6 subdivision. Again, that one was approved the April 30th, 2012 meeting by Commissioners Court for preliminary approval. Since then, they have constructed the development, all the inspections have been conducted, and everything's in order for final.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Last one is final approval of variance of Crest Piffalo subdivision. It's a two-lot subdivision located in precinct 4. It has gone through the various departments for review and approval, and the variance is just to allow a 5-foot drainage easement instead of a 15-foot, being that it's a large acre tracts and there's no real detrimental use to the easement, so we recommend approval.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioners, on 15A, Precinct 2, Commissioner Palacios, we're going to take no action at this time on that item.
Go to the next item. Precinct 4.
Commissioners, item 16A is the approval to name roads as follows. Lalo's SR, which is a private service road located at Del Tule, track 94 on the west side of Brushline Road and south of Highway 186.
To approve.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Number 2 is Clemencia SR. It's a private service road located at Del Tule, track 94 on the west side of Brushline Road and south Highway 186.
Move to approve.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Sergio, el bailador.
Morning, Commissioners. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 17A was already presented earlier today. I'm requesting no action on 17B. We'll bring back that item next week. Item 17C1 is approval of 2012 appropriation of funds in the amount of $4,945.95 into the Constable Precinct 4 Investigation HB 65 Fund.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item 17C2, A and B is approval of the certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the Precinct 1 drainage improvement with the appropriation of those funds in the amount of $24,557.63.
Move to approve items A and B.
Moved second for item
A and B.
A and B. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item 17C3 is approval of 2012 unappropriation of funds in the amount of $100,000 for the Precinct 2 border road project.
Move for approval.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 17C4 is approval of 2012 appropriation of funds into the Precinct 3 road maintenance in the total amount of $120,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
17C5, A and B is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the J09 project with the appropriation of those funds into the Precinct 4 Road Maintenance Program 7 in the amount of $39,245.45, into the Program 36, the Drainage Improvement Project, the amount of $26,315.68 for a total of $65,561.13.
Move to approval.
There's a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Martha Salazar for the Purchasing Department. Nothing to report or action to be taken on 18A1, 2, A, B, and C, 3, A, B, and C. Going on to item 4, where acceptance and approval of an amendment to the current DIR contract number IC 427, approved by Commissioners Court on 12/109, and submitted to the Texas Government Contracts acting by and through Texas Department of Information Resources and Texas NIC USA LLC for the purposes of transition and will begin September 1st, 2012, with new fees, terms, and conditions as utilized by both the county and district clerks of Hidalgo County. This has been reviewed by legal counsel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Move in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
If I'm not mistaken, we have been requested by Precinct 1 that items 1A and B, no action to be taken.
That
Those
is
are
correct. Monte Alto ISD doesn't need our services.
Going on to item B2, A, requesting for Hidalgo County Commissioners Court to designate and approve an owner's representative pursuant to Article 8.3 as referred on the AIA document, and that is between the AIA A201, and that's the 2007 version of the general conditions of the contract for the construction under Article 2.1.1, so as to proceed with the action of the next agenda item. Whether we proceed with the next agenda item or not, I think we do need the point of contact because that would be in the final document. You do have a project manager for this project, Commissioner, and this is the precinct constable's building. I don't know if you want to use that or use someone from the county to insert.
We can do it that way.
So it would be GAS Enterprises,
Right.
is that correct? Okay, so I do need action on that.
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Now, on item B, the current agreement has been emailed to legal counsel at Atlas Hall and Rodriguez. That has not been reviewed fully yet. However, I do have in my possessions the original payment and performance bonds. They were delivered this morning through Lone Star. Those will need to be sent to legal counsel. They have only copies. Now, I don't know if the court wants to take action.
Subject to legal or what?
I'd like to move to approve, subject to approval by the counselor, review of the counselor. That includes the
So we'll take
payment
action
and
that way.
performance bond.
Yeah, subject to legal.
Yes,
Second.
because the auditor does have a concern on that legal counsel's review.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And that would be the, of course, the contract with Holchmont. Item C, 1, requesting approval of license agreement for the Minnesota Drainage Project.
Move approval.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
On item D1, this is for HIDA. We're requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under 262-024A. Oh, I'm sorry. The following is a continuation of the maintenance plan agreement with Crossmatch Technologies awarded vendor through the DIR number 1024 contract for procurement of hardware, software, equipment previously approved by Commissioners Court on September 28, 2010, and that's why I am requesting the exemption from competitive bidding as a sole source declaration. So I do need action on the exemption.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
B is approval of the sole source declaration with Crossmatch Technologies and authority to purchase the continuation of management plan agreement reviewed and approved as to form by legal counsel with said sole source designation remaining in effect as long as HIDA possesses and utilizes the hardware and software commencing with services on April 30th of 2013 in the amount of $1,620.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Under E, Colonia Access Program Precinct 1, requesting approval to reject all bids submitted and authority to re-advertise the BACP projects as previously approved on April 10th of 2012, as bids received were higher than the budgeted amount, and this is for A and B, which is El Mezquite subdivision in North Capisayo.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
F1 is presentation of a recommendation by project engineer Javier Hinojosa to award to the lowest bidder meeting all specifications 2GS LLC in the amount of $346,509.20 for bid number 138, road and drainage construction of Acevedo number 4 subdivision.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Item 19, open forum. Is this the list, Monica? Indicencio Peña.
Buenos días, señores.
Buenos días.
Mi nombre es Inocencio Peña y pues soy miembro de la Lupe. Venimos de la colonia Taurus 14, que pertenece al precinto 3. El propósito de esta visita es solicitar el alumbrado público que necesitamos en nuestra comunidad, ya que hemos experimentado algunos incidentes desagradables por la falta de alumbrado. En varias ocasiones hemos visto que por la falta de visibilidad, nuestros hijos han estado en peligro de ser atropellados al estar esperando el bus escolar, especialmente en la temporada de invierno, que es cuando los días son más largos, ¿verdad? Con esta obra de alumbrado se van a beneficiar alrededor de 70 familias, en las cuales hay una gran cantidad de niños en esta colonia. Estamos agradecidos por la oportunidad que nos dan de escucharnos y le pedimos de la manera más atenta y cordial que tengan en mente nuestra petición. Estamos en proceso de programar una junta con su representante, la señora Mona Parra, y estaremos muy honrados si usted, señor Joe Flores, se digna en acompañarnos para que pueda ver con sus propios ojos las necesidades de sus constituyentes. Les agradecemos mucho por el tiempo que nos dan para expresar estas palabras. Gracias.
Commissioner Flores, would you like to
No, just about, we'll be there. I can't, we can't relate.
translate,
Yeah.
Councilor?
Translate, I guess Mona, would you want to translate that for us, please? Is Mona here? Mingo, come up here and translate what they said. Mingo, come here. Actually, just what it was, Mingo, it wasn't just a little bit, not much.
Sí, pues es la representación Lupe.
No, you got to say it in English.
In Spanish, no?
The other translation.
Commissioner Arano.
Yeah, can you,
I believe there's another representative that can translate, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
¿Qué colonia es esta?
En la 14, yeah.
¿Cómo? Venga, ¿pero tiene nombre? ¿Dónde mero está? ¿Por la Trustford o qué?
Está por la Goma.
Joe, can you
La Goma.
translate for
Y la
me?
mía 14, Mingo. Casi llegar.
La colonia Taurus 14 está por la Joma y la mía 8 3/4.
Ok.
Ahí es donde está esta colonia.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Inocencio Peña. I'm a member of Lupe, and I come from Tauros 14, which belongs to precinct number 3, this colonia. Our purpose today of visiting is because we need public light. We have many bad incidents that happen in our neighborhood because the lack of public light. And on various occasions, we had seen the lack of visibility in our colonia has brought our children to danger, especially in the winter when the bus comes and picks them up in the dark. With this public light will benefit 70 families in our colonia, and a big quantity of that are children. We are very grateful for the opportunity that you've given us right now to listen to our needs, and we're asking you very cordially to consider our petition. We are in the process of programming a meeting in our neighborhood, and we invited Dr. Mona Parra to be with us. We also wanted to extend this invitation to our Commissioner, Joe Flores, so he can see where he can accompany us and see with his own eyes the necessities of our own community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
More like it. See that, Mingo?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next presenter is Brian? She left. Those are the only two, Monica.
Commissioner, there is a need to go into.
Sir?
There is a need to go into executive session.
There is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, pursuant to
No, it's 11:56.
551, 071, and 072. Do I hear a motion for executive session?
So,
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
11:56.
Oye, para que no venga.
We'll reconvene the regular meeting out of executive session at 12:50.
56, yes, sir.
Malte?
Commissioner, Joe, you have under
Under
item
real-
21, open session.
Under real estate, Commissioner, we have two parcels at the Minnesota Drain, parcel 8, with an appraised value of $17,775. Settlement request of $22,840.87 for a difference of $5,065.87, and I'm going to recommend approval. Urban County has already approved it. Parcel 10, also on the Minnesota Drain, the appraised value $16,845, a settlement request of $20,601.43 for a difference of $3,756.43, and I'm recommending approval also.
Move for approval.
Second.
It moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And on the other items, I'll proceed as directed.
Thank you, Joe. Commissioners, item 21B, pending under potential litigation, no action. Item 21C, CL-12-2088-A, Erasmo Chapa versus Hidalgo County, Texas. Commissioners, just as a bit of background, we were served with notice of a suit. This was a claim a couple years ago that has not been resolved. We had appointed, under the claim status, the law offices of Gil Perales back August 30th of 2011. So with the filing of this suit, what I'd like to do is refer back to item 6A1 and 2. So item 6A1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code, section 26202-4A4, professional service for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation. If I could have action to that effect.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item 6A2, requesting the engagement with the firm of Gil Perales for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation, specifically Erasmo Chapa versus Hidalgo County.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been moved second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay, Judge Commissioners, item 21D, notice of claim, Sheila Pruitt-Orr. Again, Commissioners, I'd like to refer back to item 6A1 and 2. Item 6A1 would be the exemption from competitive bidding requirements, and that would be section 26202-4A4 of the Local Government Code, professional service, in provision, for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation.
Need action?
Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
And Commissioners, item 6A2, requesting engagement with the firm of Atlas and Hall, specifically Mr. Rex Leach of that firm, for the provision of legal services representation in connection with litigation, again, as it pertains to the notice of claim, Sheila Pruitt Orr.
Move for approval.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I move, yeah.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Commissioners, that would conclude.
This concludes the regular
Yes.
meeting.
Move to.
Second.
Been moved second to adjourn, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.